Yeah. All right, jumping right back into it. Previously, a group of diplomats and guns for hire encountered a rather unfortunate individual in an unfortunate situation, but managed to rescue him and bring him to the strangely idyllic, yet with elements of a sinister folk horror that is Herbertsville. Upon being told to essentially F off by the minister, who speaks in a very, in a voice that you would imagine a bulldog would, and meeting with the governess and her wife of the town, getting medical care to the individual they rescued, they managed to convince the governess to reveal a rather intense truth about the horrors that have been plaguing Herbertsville, and that they are in some way driven by her wife Louise, who seems to be a very ill character. But that revelation was just made, and I leave it now to all of you to react to it however you may.
Do you mean something like lycanthropy or something similar?
It's there's always folk tales. There's always talks about werewolves haunting the streets, I imagine. There was in the old world. This is something much older than whatever pulp literature you're getting out of there. She's still kind of fumbling for her words.
And they haven't been able to identify whatever this is.
It started maybe 3 months ago.
But she's never
Louise.
attacked you.
Let me try to start from the beginning. You deserve that much. If you are going to help, you need to know what's happened. About 3 months ago is when Louise went out. Now, the way you saw Louise is the way Louise is. She's sick. She always been since she was a little girl. And me and her used to play out on the playground. And as she got older, well, the doctor always was giving her medication to make sure she stayed healthy, but it was estimated that she didn't have much longer to live. And Louise was a bit of a rebel, all that I knew. I wanted to make change, and so did she. She's a little less subtle about it, and she managed to get some gold in her pocket, and she made her way out towards the road. I think her plan was to go to Electrival and, well, I suppose, gamble and drink the money away. Have at least
This
one night of
meeting is
living.
being recorded.
Have at least one day where they could, I don't know. It's foolish, I know, and when I heard about it, I was worried and I was condescending. My thoughts were first, what happens if Headwater finds out about this? He'll be coming after us like a bulldog. But she assured me that she was happy, she gambled, she swore to me that she was faithful, didn't sleep with any whores, and I trust her on that. But it happened about 7 days later. She disappeared one night, and I couldn't for the life of me find. I thought that she wandered off and died. She lost her marbles, and that was the last I was ever going to see to her, the dinner we had that evening. But then she showed up in the morning. First, she had some cuts on her eye, some blood. I asked her what happened, and she said she didn't know, and I believed her. But then I found that every couple of nights she'd disappear again. I'd turn over on the mattress and find that Louise was gone.
So, the time that she was away when you were promised that nothing of consequence had happened. It's just a black hole.
I thought that way for a while until she started telling me about the dreams she was having. Dreams of hunting and capturing like a creature of the night. And they were corresponding when she would disappear. Eventually we found footprints that weren't quite hers, but seemed to come from the same direction as hers, leading out towards the boardwalk, the highway that connects Electrival to the settlements beyond the swamp.
To clarify, you're saying that as her illness progressed, she started becoming this beast?
That's the funny thing, too, is her illness hasn't gotten better since I've known her. It just hasn't gotten worse. But something else has taken hold of her, and we've been trying. We've been trying to chain her up in the basement with her help. But she's changed too. She's not as understanding as before. She's speaking with like she wants to deal with it, and she wants to get rid of it no matter what the cost. I've been trying to convince her she wants to wander out in the swamp and find the creature that Herbert made a pact with when he founded this town. But I think that would be disastrous for her.
Mind if we speak to her one-on-one?
You may. As you see a figure stumbling from behind the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Korik, you maybe heard the rocking of the crane and the creaking of the floorboard before everyone else, but before you really had a chance to say anything, she spoke out and revealed herself. And you see the woman is now no longer leaning on the cane, but is standing there.
What do you remember about the first time, or maybe even before, the first time you felt a change?
She kind of giggles a little bit. I've come to accept my condition. The problem is that I can't expect to be living my life much longer if I've got wolf hunters. She kind of gestures into the parlor where the doctor is attending to the man in the wheelchair. Been coming after me. Or the hounds, like Minister Clearwater, coming after me. I want free of whatever influence it is.
If we can
gosh darn hag laid on me.
Hag?
I don't know what she is. I'm just thinking of stories, but something.
You spoke
Creature
to
of the
someone
swamp.
before this happened?
She speaks to me.
She speaks to you.
She tells me to go out and hunt, to teach them the lessons.
And do you know where we can find her?
I got an inkling, but I'm not going to go there. You're
not going.
And you're gonna slay that bitch.
How about you draw us a
we're gonna
map
stop
to lead
being a
us
problem.
there?
To be perfectly fair, I think we'd all feel more comfortable if you didn't go with us. So I'm glad we're in agreement of that.
Let's just say that when the hunger kicks in, you don't got much room to, deviate. So yeah, all of you, you're going to help me and you're going to help my wife out with this. And then you're going to leave. And we're never going to be crossing paths again. Whatever problem's been solved, whatever you want to write about, that's fine. Me and Elena will go off our own direction. This whole place can burn to the ground for all I care.
That doesn't sound like much of a trade.
I mean,
Other
we get our
option.
story, we get our profit, and they get their piece.
You also don't got to deal with me when I become a problem.
we're going to try and take care of the thing that creates the problem, that is you. And if we're successful in that, you will no longer be a threat. So,
Good.
perhaps we
Well,
can...
I don't know if I'll be no longer a threat. I just won't be under her influence no more.
So a reward for doing this is a story.
I mean, that's what I came here for, and that's, I believe, what you were hired to help me with.
Elena's just like, please don't antagonize. I'm not trying to antagonize them. I'm just telling them the truth. And I don't want to be cured of none. This power that I got, it's keeping me alive. It's giving me a chance with my wife. But the only problem I have with it is I don't got no control of myself when I turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
her
we'll
who's
respect
driving the
that.
dog whistle. I don't want to be cured. I want to be let off the leash. And I'll go far, far away from here.
Can I insight that to be sure that she doesn't intend on just going full feral?
Go ahead.
That's not great. That's a 10.
It's hard to tell from her complexion. She speaks with conviction and with a stately manner that I imagine Gloria has encountered many times in her career.
Mm-hmm.
But she does seem to be laying the terms quite clearly and seems to be looking at all of you with an expectation to go along with what she's saying.
I'm clearly ready to go along with this. How about the rest of y'all?
Well, if they're leaving, there's nothing that says that we can't have further communication with the town. And that's more what I was interested in that conversation, so I think that I can agree as well.
Elena looks at all of you and says, "You please don't listen to her. If I ask her not to, she's not going to hurt you. But please make sure that you understand the risks of what you're volunteering to do. Don't feel like we're forcing you into this."
The only thing forcing me into anything is a story, friend. That's all I'm here for, and it's what I'm gonna get.
And I'm just here to do the right thing.
All right, then. I'll set you on the path, and then I'll be gone. Well, you done? Or you want to get there after night?
Please, Miss Louise, lead the way.
She looks
Don't-
over at the one individual who's just still stuck in the position and waves her hand in front of his face.
He needs a brief rest. I feel like he might have spaced out a little bit. Mind if we can complete the hour? Out of character. Maybe we get short rest.
Louise says, "You can take a nap here for all I care. We'll head out at high moon on the Bayou." And she'll make her way off.
Wait, so are we getting a long rest?
Elena looks at all of you and says, "Thank you. Please rest here as long as you need. Make whatever preparations you feel like you must. And I'm terribly sorry, but please do. Take a moment to rest, and we will be gone. You will get whatever story you want out of it. We'll disappear into the wasteland. Let me know if you need anything until then. Oh, doctor, please, if I could have a moment with you." And she'll just start talking to the doctor, and the doctor will be like, "Oh, yes, well, you see that this individual, he have a rather nasty wound. I managed to bind it a little bit, but what this man needs is a few days of rest." And they'll just kind of talk down the hall, but you at least get that information. And I leave it to you for whatever sort of rest you'd like to take.
All right, so I guess
can
we get a
begin.
long rest.
I mean, I don't even need a long rest, honestly. I
I just want, well, if we can get a long rest, My divination dice are very nice.
It's up to you guys. Like I said, even a long rest is only 6 hours for me. So
I control the dice now.
Yeah.
No more low rolls for me.
I believe with Warforged, it's still 8 hours to take a rest. You just can spend 6 hours of it in an inactive state.
You can spend it all just
Kind of
staring,
like how
just
elves, it's
staring
still
at her,
8 hours for elves, but
just staring at our beastie lady friend.
at least that's how I always interpret it.
Now talk about powerful women.
I say I don't necessarily get a benefit from like a long rest right now, but I'm happy to do it to get back the benefits for the other folks.
Yeah. And that
Yeah,
will
if we
be the
don't
thing.
lose anything from getting a long rest.
Well, that's the thing, too, is that the only factor here is time. If that's even a concern to you. If you leave after a long rest, it will be closer to midnight or past midnight when you leave. If you leave in an hour, the day will still be up.
So it's not evening right now?
It's like it's like 3 or 4 p.m.
All right, dudes. How important would my divination die be to you? Because that's the main thing I'd be getting back.
And you can re-prepare resources, too. Don't forget about that.
Yes, and picking new spells.
For the first time in a long time, I have no spells to pick.
you would get your one psionic die back that you spent.
Well, I got that back already. Because during the short
And guys,
during a short rest,
just in case, you know what? Locate creature might be useful to me if she goes feral.
That's true.
Because I've been within 30 feet of her.
And I do not trust this monstrous first lady.
That's another thing. Are you going to actually help, or do you just want to dip out of here?
We got our story.
There's also
Bye.
options, too. Like, I don't know how interested you are in engaging with First Minister Clarence Headwater.
I mean, say I haven't found what I'm looking for yet, so. I guess so. Maybe. Oh, I think we probably should talk to the First Minister at some point, if he's willing to. Mentally, it seems as though we've already chosen a side in this battle, but we have some information that might be useful if we were interested in another side. I like Elena. I don't trust Louise.
If you're speaking mentally, Dilby will say back, if you're talking about that piece of shit pseudo mayor, I don't support fascism in any form, so I will not deal with him.
Are these the only two power factors within this city, then?
From what you've encountered, it would appear that there's a governess and there is the clergy.
Of course, there's always the capacity to spy and see if there's anything useful to gain from their private conversations.
True. I do love a good mass.
And of course, if more than one round of invisibility is required, I do have one of my own to use.
Well, perhaps we take a stroll and decide from there.
All right.
So it sounds like some of you want to begin a long rest, maybe, or at least a short rest, while maybe some of you could go out and do some reconnaissance on the political layout of the situation you've wound up in.
I'll take some hours to meditate on the possibilities of tomorrow, and the rest of you could continue investigating if you'd like. I can take a long rest, and the rest of you can keep investigating if you want to.
I mean, do we trust leaving you safe here? Should at least someone stay in case the beast is hungrier than we realized?
I think I'll be safe with Elaine. She doesn't seem like she's ever been hurt.
Your traveled glory, I trust your judgment.
I trust my own judgment as well. Thank you.
All right. Well, then perhaps we take a stroll.
All right. Who's going for a stroll?
If you allow me to finish my short rest, which I already started during that whole conversation, I'll go with you. Otherwise, I need to
I was going
wait.
to say, like, maybe I was going to, from what it sounded like, maybe Gloria would make some of them invisible and begin taking a short rest, which I'll allow you to feed into a long rest if it goes that long, while maybe Quark and Groth maybe do their reconnaissance invisibly.
Okay.
Is that the plan here, or?
Yeah, I can do that. I can use I'll use my. Okay, who wants some free invisibility?
Sure.
Quark,
Who wants some-
visibility?
Who wants some spicy don't see me juice?
I don't like spicy.
It burns so
So-
good.
So, invisibility is a concentration. Can you do more than one?
Well, well, both of us have invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess for an hour I'll just be concentrating and I won't be able to take a short rest.
You can also
But I'll just
upcast it.
chill in here.
I'll let you take a rest while you make everyone else walk around. I don't mind that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I can.
That's not what I'm concerned about here.
Yeah. So maybe we just
Yeah. Can I upcast it? Nah. I have this invisibility from a feat, so I can only
I
use
will
it on
not
one
impede
person.
you guys from splitting the party.
All right. One of you gets invisibility.
Yeah. You can also upcast invisibility. I don't know if you're interested in a higher level slot or.
Because I have it through the feat, it doesn't look like I can upcast it.
I thought that. Is that shadow touched?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that it adds it to your spell list.
Yeah. Okay. If it's on my spell list, it didn't show as being able to upcast on my spell list, which is why I didn't think so. All right.
will-
Yeah.
I will let you do it. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, but if not, then whatever. We're having fun. All right.
Thank you, mighty benevolent DM. I
No
shall
worry.
upcast it.
No worry, humble player. Pat. Yeah. Bloop. With a swirl of aether sigils, both Groth and Korik disappear.
All right.
well,
To fumble around until you bump into each other's hands.
And I, the single spice girl, will take a nap.
All right. Just meditating, studying some books. And yeah, you guys are going to head out.
continuing mentally. Groth, you big old lug. Did you have any insights or any curiosities of where you would like to look?
No.
All right. Well, let's see if we can stumble into anything interesting. And I suppose make our way out and try and... Is there anybody else in the room besides the four of us at this point?
There's the four of you. Elena had basically gone off to check on Luis. There's still the dude who's still weekending at Bernie's in the sunroom. Would appear that he's gotten proper medical care and needs rest.
So I guess try and open the door as little
You've
as
still got
possible
his
to
pile
sneak
of
out.
crap sitting next to him.
Oh, we gotta come back for that.
Silver weapons.
The question is, do you want a gun?
I don't know if I'm gonna be the best shot, but
I'm not. That's a dex thing, right?
all right.
You'd have like a +5 to it.
Okay, I would love a gun then.
So you're just gonna
Hit me
sneak
with
into
your
the
best
sunroom
shot.
next to the pile of like crates of this guy's belongings that you've salvaged, and you're gonna just grab the gun from the nearby table and the bullets.
Yeah, especially the fancy looking ones.
All right. So just to let you know, I don't think Quark's ever used one, but they're semi-common enough that you would know generally that these are Thunderstone. They use a magical sort of aether component mix that stores Thunder's energy. They work as a gun if you roll a natural 1 on them, similar to like Pathfinder rules. They misfire. And specifically with Thunderstone weapons, they explode, dealing thunder damage. Not destroying the entire mechanism, but just kind of shooting it back at you when it misfires.
So, okay, not to get too in the weeds, but as
You're a halfling.
Halfling, yeah.
Funky stuff.
Yeah.
Let's cross that bridge when we get there, shall
Got
we?
it. Okay, sounds good to me. Okay.
You know, I've never seen a halfling misfire one of these things ever in my life.
It's always just a smoldering pair of boots.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll tuck the weapon into my pocket, and I suppose beyond.
You can go ahead and give yourself 40 regular bullets and 9 silvered bullets.
9 silvered. All right.
Not that you'll need them.
And the damage die for this
never.
is
A D8.
D8. Okay. Great. Awesome. All right.
So,
Off.
okay, so you're off to go see the wizard.
Off we go.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Wild.
No, we're leaving the wizard behind.
Yes. Anyway, where would you like to go? What would you like to do?
Is there a building that looks like a church?
Yes, there so certainly is.
Okay.
And you see that there seems to be a bit of a congregation there of people. A faint ding, 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 ringing of bells moments before you stepped outside. Seem to be calling some sort of gathering. You're not entirely sure what.
Groth, walk softly, but carry that large stick. And make our way towards the church if Groth is down.
You are literally making your way downtown.
Downtown. Not walking fast.
No,
we're
Yeah,
not.
you're not walking up a hill. You're not walking through a
medium
swamp.
place.
You are literally making your way downtown. Yeah, both of you would like to roll stealth checks just to sit that baseline.
See, the fun part about this.
Is it advantage with being invisible?
It is.
Okay.
Wow, okay. So wait, it's advantage, so that means I have no advantage because I'm actually disadvantaged, so I'm just straight roll.
Yeah.
Straight roll.
It's an 18 for me, which is like pretty
Oh,
low
shit.
for what I can roll.
Oh shit. That's a dirty 20.
All right.
So about
Well,
Rogues and
the bugbear and
bugbears, you know?
yeah, super sneaky. As you begin making your way to the town, you find that there is this gathering of people of the town. And you see that the first minister is sitting there speaking to the crowd as he kind of shambles behind a bit of a podium. You see a big, sort of beautifully ostentatious, it was a very big, very lavish portrait in Elena's house. Here it is quite saintly. The depiction of Saint Herbert and his dark skin complexion and the facial hair that's as white as his clothing. But he seems to be carrying a similar crook to the one that the first minister carries, and is dressed in a much more regal attire. All these candles laid out at the bottom of it. All these wooden pews handled out in a sort of staggered row. And you hear the fellow speak out as you begin to creep up and approach. Fine people of Herbertsville, who have heard the great word of our founder and has continued to listen to the words and the lessons and the virtues that we live by each day. We have met by terrible news. We are being invaded by forces beyond our comprehension, deplorables from a cesspit by the edge of the swamp by the sea, washed up in the tides have made their way here. What more is the sins committed by those wolves hiding in our congregation. They threaten our very livelihood, have taken the lives of our best men and daughters. It is because of people like the governess that we allow to continue to take charge, that we give her the power we need. Mind you, when I speak, I mean no ill contempt. She knows not but the sin she's doing, but she still must face confession and judgment, just like my son, Roderick. Come here, Roderick. And you see that there's this younger boy who steps out. Roderick, as you might have known, was stealing from the sugarcane farm when he was not supposed to. But like a man and like an upstanding citizen, he took his lashings. And you see like the kid like lowers it, and you see the kid's back is completely scarred. He's like probably like 15, 16 years old. And you see it's kind of been lashed into a sort of X pattern on his back. That's enough, son. My son himself. He is willing to pay a price that not even the governess is willing to, for the good of our people. I'm calling on each of you. Tonight, before the moon has risen, we will confront Gloria and we will explain the predicament, and we will ask that she makes the same confessions that all of us have, and we will see that the threat is no longer festered. Her indulgences on outsiders for her morbid curiosities of what lies beyond. They will not corrupt our congregation, not corrupt the people that our great founder, Herbert. He said Elena, sorry. But we will survive, and the flame will burn true. Do not be charmed or frightened by their words, men and women. We will endure long after they are sucked into the bowels of the many hells that lie beneath this fetid swamp. Cork, Groth, what are you guys doing?
Groth?
You are dismissed.
Groth, if we leave them alone tonight, it sounds like they are going to take her.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable leaving her here without that knowledge, at least.
I feel like a lot of these problems could be solved if something happened to the priest.
Well, if he's alone, something could happen to him.
Mm.
Can we follow the first minister now that he's dismissed the congregation?
Yeah, and as people begin to scatter and some of them walk up in a line to kind of like cross their heart and kneel before the portrait of Herbert, you see that the man kind of goes around and starts shaking hands and thanking them, and his son's like behind him. And he says, "You're a good kid. We need more kids like you." Begins making their way out, shaking hands, and eventually he's joined by two of these makeshift militia guards dressed in a similar sort of white Cajun clothing. And he begins making his way towards a small little cottage near the edge of the sugarcane field. Much smaller than the rest, but just as beautifully painted and flowers planted in its garden. Little swinging bench seat built outside. And he's just patting the kid on the back, saying like, we'll have some good conversations, me and you. Come on, kid. Come on, kid. After a day like that, you deserve some good soda.
Good what?
Soda.
Soda. Okay.
He's gonna buy his kid or grandkid, you're not entirely sure.
Yeah, that's yeah.
He's gonna make him some homemade soda. Let him know that he loves him. And he's proud of him.
Even though he would.
It's a little fucked up, I know.
Yeah. Say follow, see how close we can get to the house.
Yeah. Well, eventually the two individuals just kind of take a seat outside on the porch while, like, the two militia people, as the two of them make their way into the house. It doesn't look like there was any lock on the door. One of those neighborhoods. And they'll make their way inside the house and close behind it. How are you following them? I was imagining visually like you were maybe like 40 feet behind them.
Yeah.
Just kind of invisibly holding hands and
enjoying the fields and the flowers.
It's like Groth's
Me
hand is all the
holding my
way
hand
up
up
by his
here.
ankle. Yeah.
I think it's more I have my hand on your shoulder and I'm like, follow.
Kind of, yeah.
Roth isn't ready for that kind of intimacy. Not yet.
Groth.
Roth just put one of those little backpacks with a leash on Carrick.
Apologies.
And then
Rio has a problem with the smaller races.
and some little kid like comes running in between us and gets hooked by the thing. It's clothesline.
Let me
Groth.
just something.
Oh gosh.
Groth.
Okay.
There's a bird that whaps its way into Grog's back before landing on the ground and then flying away.
This is.
They don't see that.
If we think that this is the best course of action, this is probably the closest we're going to get into alone. But then we have to deal with the child as well. This is not a time for witnesses.
Um.
I'm not saying that that's what we do. I'm just telling you what we're up against.
I'm gonna message our DM real quick.
Keep in mind, you can also send a message to the other folks who are waiting.
I say we're less than a
you
mile
left-
away, so this group chat is open. Like,
What's worse? What's worse than a cultist? A child.
I will say I do not want to harm the child. What I'm saying is we need to find a way to deal with him if we're intending on killing his father figure in front of him. And removing him is one of those ways.
So,
If this is what you think will keep everyone safe and complete your mission, then yes.
This is not to do with my mission.
This doesn't have anything to do with taking care of the beast.
I guess removing him would make it so that perhaps no one would come after Elena while we're gone.
I follow you.
wait, so are we all within group chat distance?
We are, yeah. I think we're less than, as long as we're less than a mile away, we are.
We do have poisons.
Well, that would make it seem more natural than slash marks.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that I don't know if any of you have ever lived in a small village before, but generally when someone dies and there were outsiders that happened to be there at the same time, those outsiders are generally looked upon with bad light.
My understanding is that tonight we're going to be leaving this town and not coming back. And we'd only be doing this to protect Elaine. So if anything, we can try to turn this into a sympathy moment for her so that she is not attacked.
Additional point of interest and order and question. According to Louise, as soon as she's free, both of them are going to leave, which means that this town will be left in the hands of this demagogue that is not fit to rule. And if both of them are removed, we do not know who it falls to.
And beyond the story, how much do we care about this town?
I suppose not much.
Do we think they would be better off with a leader or without?
Not with him.
Then we kill him.
Then we kill him. Groff,
Lead the way.
poison or blade?
Not that I necessarily condone assassination, but isn't the swamp filled with alligators who would gladly remove any evidence?
Oh, yes, but we need to kill him first.
The swamp eats the evidence.
The problem is, the easiest way to deal with him would be to kill him with the blade and take him to the swamp, but we have a witness. The poison makes the witness less of an issue.
Are your blades invisible? Don't they more attack the mind?
If I make an attempt against him, I will no longer be invisible.
No, what she means is like you don't cut with your blades, don't you? Isn't it all psychic damage? So I mean,
That's
technically
true.
there would be no wounds.
That is true.
You can hide.
I think you're muted.
I'm muted.
Apologies.
Really good. If no, I was just making sure I was unmuted. I mean, yeah, if you had no eyes on you while you attempted such an assassination, if that is what you have decided to do as a party, I will see that you have a fair shot at this heist.
But I do raise a counterpoint. There seems to be, aside from Elaine, no dissenters in this village. So while we view him as a problematic demagogue, there is literally no proof that every last person in here believes everything he's saying, and whoever you would just pick up where they left off. I mean, they've been worshiping this portrait of a man for how many centuries?
130 years.
So I say we focus on the particularly feral wife and the governess, and leave the town to its own devices.
You know what, Dimbley? You are right.
Dilby, but yes.
When we deal with this hag, or whatever it is that is our primary issue, we can always come back and kill the First Minister after the fact.
Not to mention, most human countenances are very susceptible to bludgeoning and stabbing, so it would not be terribly difficult for a group of adventurers to systematically destroy the village entirely.
Okay, well, that's a little bit beyond my level of bad. And, Groff, do you say we take a pause on our assassination?
I'm not saying that we systematically destroy the entire village. I'm just saying that it is a possibility that I could route.
It's on the table. It's on the table.
I'm just pointing
it's at
out
the top of the pile.
I'm just pointing out that it is logically much easier to kill a village than one monster. So
Dilby, we are primarily journalists. I'll casually remind you.
I am just, as the saying goes, picking up the vibe.
The very human vibes. I completely understand.
Yes.
When pure neutral goes wrong.
Grub,
They're talking about assassinating a dude. I mean, it would be much easier to take care of the hag and then kill everybody.
Well, what I'm saying is that a crime syndicate over a fascist demagogue is perhaps a better choice.
Wasn't the point of assassinating him to keep what's her name?
Elaine.
Yes, no, you're correct. That is true. We need to...
Elena, yeah.
Okay, so
Elena.
perhaps
Elena
couldn't
Elena just leave town?
Perhaps the proper choice of action is to let Elena know they're planning on coming to punish her, and then let her make that choice for herself.
Yeah.
I don't believe that she's a terribly logical person based on her behavior towards Louise, but she deserves a chance.
So what are we
And
doing?
of course, if everything goes to shit, the swamp eats all the evidence.
Perfect. And we still get a story out of it. I mean, town disappears in the swamp is not a bad byline.
You just go looking for the snake at the beginning.
Oh,
Hey, sorry about before.
If you have no objections, shall we return to the governess's manor? You always know where to
Oh,
come
yeah.
back. Okay. So we'll come back to the governess's manor then.
Yeah, so like so it's like you're doing the thing like where you're talking on the phone just as you're about to meet someone, and you're like, "Oh no, I'm right over here." Oh wait, you can't see me. I'm invisible. Sorry. Go on.
Okay.
Well, I guess having completed my short rest, I will go and speak with Elena.
You can have a short rest completed if that is what you wish to have.
Yeah. Because that's all I really wanted was a short
None of you
rest.
lost hit dice, so.
Yeah. I just wanted my sorcery points and my spell slots back. So I will go. Where is Elena currently?
I would say that Elena has kind of. I'd say that they'd still be in there. Yeah, they'd still be like talking to each other beyond the door, but you'd have to kind of get to the close to the door and try to snoop if you wanted to hear more. But you could always knock.
I'll just go and open the door. Elena.
Hello. Oh, yes. If you,
hopefully,
I gotta remember her voice. Oh yeah, I was just about to come out.
Elena, the demagogue of the city is coming to punish you this evening, so it might be prudent to move up your plans of exiting the village.
Her eyes go wide. Louise stands up with a fury in her eye. Well then. That's good to know. And she'll walk up to you and she'll put her hand on your shoulder.
He moves
I
away
appreciate
from the
you.
touch.
Oh, you kind of shy away?
If you don't mind, I'm quite averse to touching.
Of course. Well, I appreciate what you did. And just in case we don't meet up in time. And like the rest of you see Dilby just speaking to Louise, standing in the corridor, and she's just speaking very close to Dilby. Elena can overhear it. She goes, just in case you can't, just head south of where we are, till you come to the old asphalt.
All right.
The road there will lead you to her home. Just in case I can't catch up with you later. And she'll...
just so you know, we are not opposed to you raising the village to the ground.
She gives you a look and keeps going.
Sorry, we can see her.
Yep, she makes her way out. Dilby says that out loud, kind of calling to her as she's about to walk out the door, as she's kind of grabbing her cane and leaning onto it more. Clearly acting. As she begins to kind of put on like a shirt or like a coat as she's walking out the door. Any of you would like to do something?
As she's like talking, like leaving, can I lift up my eye patch and tap. There's gem that's replaced one of my eyes.
Sure.
And so
you go ahead and you lift up your eye patch and you see through the crystal glass. Roll me a perception check.
Ooh. 24. 23.
It's weird. You see for a moment what looks to be like a tiny little bubble pulsing next to your head and kind of drifting towards the door where Louise just walked out of. And as soon as you look at it, it just kind of pops and it's gone.
That's clairvoyance. Someone's been spying.
Groth, you see that?
Okay, so Bubble, does she look any different?
Nope, no one else seems to notice it. You are the only one who seemed to have noticed it when you activated your eye.
Okay. And looking around the room, there's nothing.
Nothing other than that stands out. You do still kind of see the wispy tendrils of the ethereal plane kind of floating around you. But no. It seemed as though as soon as you looked at it for like a good 3 to 4 seconds, it almost as if recognized that you were looking at it and disappeared.
I don't see anything particularly interesting about a certain party number either.
Oh, yeah, no, you would totally see that. I think. Dilby
Yeah.
would see that, right?
Well, it depends on what effect we're talking about.
I have true sight right now.
He has true sight out to 120 feet.
If you tell us.
Automatically detect visual illusions.
Can see into the ethereal plane.
That
perceive visual form of
sounds.
shape
It
changer.
depends. It depends what side of Dilby are you
Groth
looking
secretly
at.
sees all.
Wait, so does Groth tell us this?
Well,
Oh,
let's one thing at a time. Dilby, what does Dilby look like underneath of the illusion?
I mean, he is a robot, so I mean, like, he has a metal face. He only uses disguise self on his clothing, like when he changed it to white, but otherwise it's real clothing, and he only uses disguise self essentially on his chest up, where puts on
it's
his
like
human face.
It's like in Marvel when Vision like goes into his robot form.
Hmm.
Yeah. Right. You see that, Groth.
I just gotta look at it.
You also see Korik wearing a bulky suit of leather armor that doesn't quite fit right on him, because that's an illusion as well.
I'm gonna look at both of them and just kind of nod, and then keep looking around. And if I don't see anything, I would describe the bubbles. Did anyone see that bubble there?
You mean like some kind of divination sensor? Describe it.
There was a bubble that was next to me, and then I looked at it and it flew off and popped when it realized I was looking at it, I think.
Do I recall what this is?
I would say Gloria would know that it sounds like some sort of divination sensor. You're not entirely sure by what, based on the detail that Groth can give you, but you're trained in divination magic, and the description he gives, you would be able to piece that together, that someone was peering through an invisible sensor.
There's a magic user we don't know about, and they're spying on us.
Are we sure it's one that we don't know about, or do we think it's possibly someone we've already experienced?
Well, we currently are not aware that they're a magic user.
I'm gonna walk out of the house and start walking back towards the priest's house.
Are you still invisible, or
You,
I assumed not.
a
I'm
few,
not walking with a weapon in hand. I'm just walking.
Yeah, it's been enough time that you're not invisible anymore. You're in the house. You've had a moment.
a brief theory is that it's probably the mentioned hag, if the hag story is true.
Either that or it's Elena.
No, because Elena was with us, so we would have.
It
she
it
wouldn't
looked
have had
like it
use
was
us
to you,
trying.
Groth. It looked like the bubble was following. It looked like it was following Luis out the door until
I
you
have
got in
a
it first.
feeling. I have a feeling it's whatever she made a deal with.
So
Or
perhaps
was cursed by.
the asphalt path is the best one to track down.
But whatever's there will be prepared for us, no matter when we show up.
Elena, you must take our invalid friend and leave town.
Well, this is when you hear the argument on the porch as you go to look for Elena, and you hear Luis saying, "Go with them. I'll meet you along the way. First, they gotta come looking. I'll be behind shortly." And Elena goes, "Please, you can't kill them. They didn't. They threatened us. They haven't been living. If it makes you feel better, I'll spare the ones I can. But you need to go. Go deal with the problem, and the two of us, we can live free. Please, Luis, go now. We don't have much time. They can't find out. They'll sneak you out of here, I'm sure. I'll give you as much of a head start as I can." Do any of you step out as you hear the sort of commotion on the porch?
I was coming
I
to retrieve Elena, so.
Yeah, as you go ahead, you step out. Hello. They both turn to you. and you see that Louise just takes her cane and sits down on the bench outside their house of the estate, and will just wait there. She looks at the two of them. The two of you, and say, just like a head turn of like, get scramming.
All right, Elena, you're going to be in charge of our invalid friend.
All right, and she'll if you bring her inside, there is a back exit here. But yeah, you're gonna go ahead and grab the dude who's currently on an IV drip.
Sure. IVs are portable.
Okay.
Just tuck it in behind his back. You know what I mean?
And she'll start pushing him.
It needs to be above.
That's what I mean, like the stick, like tuck it behind his back.
What would the rest of you like to do?
So are we heading out now, or it's heading out to not confusion?
Unfortunately, Gloria, it looks like our timetable has been moved up.
Oh boy. Unfortunately, I will not be able to prepare polymorph.
I will say though, good move on Corix and Groth's little investigation, because otherwise that would have been you guys being on the 7th hour of your rest and not being able to finish.
All right,
And having to deal with the village in the house.
We're heading out.
All right. Okay. Well, as you begin making your way out the back, there's going to be a little bit of a skill challenge as you make your way out of the town unseen. Is there anything that someone would like to begin by contributing to this challenge? You could offer a skill if you have like an item you think could contribute to this. If you have a resource like a spell slot that you'd like to expend, that may, depending on it, make it really easy to succeed or be an automatic success by expending it.
When we leave town, are we going by the recess?
The
Demigout.
No, so the town itself is built into a sort of an almost semicircle, with all the houses kind of with these gardens in between, and then there's like a lower area that begins to get closer to the swamp where all the agriculture happens. You can just head out the back, and then you're met by that same like 100-foot hill into the swamp that you can. Then you'll have to travel through the swamp, but that's kind of implied.
I will prepare a subtle spell charm person, so the first person who tries to stop us suddenly becomes our best friend.
Okay, so not really preparing it, because preparing it would require you to spend the spell slot. But sure, you begin making your way down towards it, and as soon as you are approached by, just this one militia member who kind of sees you out the back door, probably keep an eye on you. I won't roll for it because this is a skill challenge. You manage to grab a hold of this individual's psyche, and what do you say?
I say, just heading out for a walk, old chap. No need to pay attention to us.
Well, all right. Just make sure that you get back here real soon. I heard that old Clarence, he's going to be throwing a party here.
Yeah, of course. You know what?
I really like parties.
Why don't you go
you
ahead?
Like parties?
Of course. Everyone loves parties. Why don't you go ahead and save us a seat?
Oh, absolutely. I'll get out the decorations.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. He'll wave and go inside. All right, that's one success.
All right. I was looking through my spells. I think I'll be using my investigation and the sketches I've been taking throughout our trip in order to kind of put those together and kind of figure out the best path and make sure we're staying on the right way.
I will say that you have not traveled here yet. And there isn't exactly a lot of charting for it. If you want to do maybe like a wisdom check or a survival check, that might apply.
Mm-hmm. Then could I use could I ritually cast a detect magic to see if like the suit,
Ritually,
the closer?
Probably not if you want to keep pace.
Okay.
You could spend a spell slot for it if you have it prepared.
I do not have it prepared.
Would someone else like to go while Gloria considers their options?
Can I do anything with athletics to help people?
Absolutely. Like as soon as you get down this hill and you begin making your way through the swamp, someone's going to have to help carry that big chair over like the first muck pit.
Okay.
You can absolutely roll an athletics check to not slow the party down. Because it's a matter of getting to like cover, and by that point you'll kind of be safe.
That is a 19.
19. Easily enough as the werewolf hunter that you had rescued before been pushing his chair through a mud bank, eventually gets so stuck, all of you begin kind of panicking, trying to like pull him out, wondering maybe you'll have to leave the chair behind. And then Gross just picks up the whole thing and just carries it about 15 feet, half tosses it as the figure just kind of jostles in the seat.
Would
Ivy bag swinging.
I feel like this might just make things worse, but DM insight, would using a cause fear to get people to screw off be helpful in giving us a space we need to slip away?
That might be a little insightful. Not in the way that you'd think that it would be helpful. But there's gotta be like some nature. You could always try like a nature check if you want to like apply intelligence to this. That might help you with like the terrain. If you got another idea of how investigation could work, you could use that.
I was gonna ask about investigation just to try to find the traces of asphalt, but we might be too far out for that. I don't know.
I'd say that it's not so much finding it. That would be more identifying it.
Okay.
But maybe you could try that in a moment. But yes, so you've currently made your way past the 1 sentry. You've made your way through the first bit of the bog.
I guess if any,
you're at 2 successes.
I guess maybe if there's any creatures that try to impede us, I can try to use a cause fear so that they freeze up and we can slip away.
Absolutely. As soon as you make your way on the other side of the bank, you begin to panic as a very large crocodile begins to make its way towards the unconscious man in the chair that you are carrying with you.
I would like to death glare the alligator.
And you expend your cause for your spell slot, and the alligator quickly just scrambles away as fast as it can. With 3 successes. We reached 3 successes before we reached 2 failures. Or 3 failures, I had it at. You are in the clear. You make your way on not quite the road, but the muddy embankments that are the opposite side almost of, where you entered from initially. You were kind of traveling a little bit due south, or maybe southeast. Now you're going maybe a little bit more due south, southwest. Charting the path is difficult, and for a while you find yourself wandering for the first hour or 2 hours without much direction. You're just kind of trying to keep heading. Dilby probably has a compass built into his brain, and he's like, that way. And as you begin making your way through the swamp and really trying to make as much pace as you can, avoiding whatever threats and dealing with them idly as you continue to pass by, Elena stays quiet, almost as quiet as the other fellow who is traveling with you. And at a certain point, as the sun begins to grow later in the evening, you have a chance to speak to each other.
All right, so the first thing we have to bring to attention is that wherever we're going, whatever we'll meet, whatever's there knows we're coming.
There is another consideration as well.
Which is?
Well, if this creature, entity, or person has control over Louise, we could be heading in a completely red herring direction as well.
She did say she was planning on meeting us part way.
True. Does that mean she's meeting us part way to help or to tear us to tiny little ribbons?
I suppose that's a bridge we cross when we reach it.
Regardless, there's about an 85.6% chance we're heading into a deadly trap of some kind, so we should be prepared.
That's an incredibly specific number.
I am incredibly specific.
We appreciate a calculating mind in the industry.
Groff never shared with us what he saw. Okay.
No.
That's what I thought.
Maybe Groth lets out a little chuckle if he's inclined, but no. You guys don't know that he knows.
I mean, would Groff even know what he was? I mean, like, he saw him as, like, a metal man, but, like, he's rare. You know what I mean? Like,
Groth would have encountered automatons that you kind of resemble in Electrival. What?
All right,
I
wait,
think
I-
if
I
Groth
say
was
we push
concerned, I think
forward.
Hank would have spoken up if Groth was concerned. So,
I don't know why. I'm
I'm not
feeling
scared.
slightly concerned about what's ahead. I'm gonna put up a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit of some spicy protection, some mage armor.
right. As you make your way out and you conjure the mage armor, at a certain point the sun's almost set and Luis hasn't arrived and Elena is very worried and starts muttering about her. And you're just in the middle of the Everglades, basically.
Wait, never mind. I misunderstood the spell. I thought it was 15 plus a dexterity modifier.
oh, it's 13 plus dex.
Yeah, can I take that back? Sorry.
Well, you'll get your dexterity modifier. It's just, I think Racers of Defense stacks over.
Oh, it does
Mage armor.
stack?
Yeah,
Okay,
'cause you're
never
technically
mind.
not
Then I
wearing
will
any armor,
cast
it's
it.
just a spell.
Yeah, then I will cast it. So that would make my armor class 17?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Elena, out of curiosity,
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. What do you need?
I'm unsure of how much of the conversation that you've overheard already, but I think one of the concerns that we're looking at now is how much control this entity has over Louise, and if she does show up, whether she'll be here to aid us or it.
I'd rather not dwell on that.
Plus, as
I
long as
know,
Elena's...
I know she's not going to hurt me. I know that in my heart.
Well, that's
Do what I
one
can
of
to-
6, so...
Well, I mean, but if the 6 have a hostage...
If all you can, maybe I can just stay behind. Maybe I'll encounter her. I should head back. It's too late.
honestly, Elena, at this point, you're a much better chip with us than not with us.
Probably shouldn't be going off into the swamp in the dark alone.
It might be, well, this is the furthest I've ever been. From the town, the village, all the people I grew up with.
Can I take a moment to really look at Elena and then disguise self into Elena?
What are you doing to Elena?
Disguise selfing into her?
Yeah. With a quick raising of a hand, you shift into Elena.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
She's taken aback momentarily as she's studying you up and down.
Elena,
It's
mind
just,
if I...
it's just some kind of, it helps to have a bargaining chip or two.
Roth is like
I mean,
attempting not to get.
I mean, I wouldn't ask you to do that. Well, let's keep moving. Wait, maybe we'll find that. At that point, that's when she kind of trips a little bit as she leans onto a rock that you notice is not normal rock. It's on the
Shit.
asphalt.
It's not.
It's asphalt.
You find yourself at the edge of a broken highway, flooded into the swamp, shattered and built at an angle as if the very earth beneath it had been shattered at some point in the last few centuries. You see the highway continues on in a direction towards the western sun.
Looks like we're on the right path. Elena, mind if I check in with you for a moment? How are you feeling?
Of course, darling.
Well,
She's-
I mean the real one.
She doesn't know what to say at that point.
I mean the real one. Are you?
I mean, I've seen sorcery, or I've seen miracles performed by the first minister, but I'm doing fine. I just want to keep. I'm just gonna keep my eye out for Luis.
You scared of the dark, honey?
No. Nah, I've been living with the dark long enough not to be scared of it.
Well, it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of light to keep you company sometimes, and not in a religious sense. I mean literal. And could I potentially maybe combine it with like a little plant and use produce flame to create like a little like flaming like fire flower I could give to her as a gift?
Oh yeah, like you grab like a nearby like oversized cattail reed that you broke off, and you just kind of use your natural fire ganassi flame to create like a torch, and you pass it to her. That sounds totally awesome. Style
But
points.
it looks a little bit like a flower.
You get your inspiration back.
Yeet.
For setting, is asphalt something that we have in Electrival, or is that not even there?
I mean, there are like flagstones and cobblestones that are paved there, but no, the asphalt is a tar-like substance, that composite that isn't used anymore. There exactly isn't oil fields anymore. It is definitely an old world sign that you have come across, an old coastal highway that was once in this region.
So whatever this evil is, may be fairly ancient.
Would you like to continue along the broken highway?
That's what Louise told us.
Then, you continue on. There's occasionally the hurdle you have to go through, and occasionally the road does sink into the swamp, but you do find it easily enough again. You travel until the only faintest bits of twilight still gives you light in the torches that you carry. The sound of cicadas and frogs begin to kind of chirp around you. But you do see a building silhouetting the starry sky ahead. You can also see that as the sun has gone down, more towards the north of where you are, another sort of sun has begun to glow brighter, as you can kind of judge your direction by knowing where Electrival is. For it is very bright on the horizon. It's like Vegas out there in the desert. Though you don't have exactly good visual on it, it is a little bit foggy tonight.
Does anybody else feel a little comforted knowing that it's still glowing out there?
It's what home looks like. No matter how chaotic it may be.
Prefer Electrival to my homeland, for sure.
Dilby. Maybe like looking up at the stars. And you probably wouldn't have seen this a lot in Electrival. You see one star that just seems to streak across the sky, appearing and disappearing in less than a second.
Would that be significant?
Maybe to Dilby.
Okay. But not like, it's not adventure, it's backstory, not adventure, is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
determine.
backstory stuff.
So,
But, yeah.
Dilby, Electrival is not your home?
I mean, I immigrated, yes.
Well, there's not very much in the way of settlements beyond. Where was that?
You know, I can't quite recall the name of it. I was very young at the time, less than a year.
I mean, there's definitely places beyond Electrival. I mean, there's wherever Groth is from. I'm not quite familiar with the names of your tribes. Still a place of its own.
I
You
guess.
see...
Please.
Sorry, finish
No,
your
no,
moment.
go ahead.
No, you finish your moment.
Oh.
Yours is cooler than what I'm going to do.
I guess when you see Electrival as the center of it all, perhaps sometimes we overlook what's beyond.
And at that moment, Korik, you catch a structure that have crept up on you in the fading lights. Some sort of building on the side of the road. Letters long having fallen off.
Oh, I guess they would have addresses in this world, huh?
But you find yourself out of some roadside building.
Can we read at all what the letters would have been as they've fallen off, or is it like just
Roll me
gone?
an investigation check as you try to look for where the writing might be.
Can I assist to give him advantage?
You can.
I don't know if I need it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Let's.
cost me nothing.
Oh!
So.
Okay. I'm gonna very carefully lift this up. I don't know if you'll be able to see it without me turning it, but it's a 19 that I rolled on my own, and then when I re-rolled from Rio, it was a natural 20.
Nice.
That's what
You,
I got
like-
from saying.
You walk along the side and just get a different visual of this. And you just see it says Irvine's Roadside Museum of Natural History.
Who's Irvine?
Curator of natural history.
I mean, that's simple enough, but who is Irvine?
And you see
How
below-
is Irvine?
that side entrance is a long broken window as the building has partly sunk into the swamp, and about foot-high water leads into a hallway deeper into the museum.
Well, y'all, I think this is exactly where we're meant to be. My dear Louise is. This is how we will release her from her endeavors.
That
Is
is
this
the
a
first
place?
time I've ever heard you with a loving tone.
Well, one tries to embody the role, darling.
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
right,
I
you
think-
look like your wife.
No, I look like her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You've got two of her, and she just does not know how to take it. Like, she wants to say I'm not comfortable with this, but she doesn't really know how to say it, and she's like, you clearly got a cool idea on it, so I'm just not gonna say anything. But she speaks up and says, I mean, do we go inside? Do we stay out here?
Shall we go forth?
I mean, it surely isn't going to come out to us. I think.
Think about this. A museum of natural history from before the eclipse and from before any history that we know. We found the history of the people who came before history. Don't you understand how big this is?
You're right. It could be a gold mine.
It absolutely is. So even if we don't necessarily fix everything, we have something massive.
Could be worth a lot.
Exactly. It could be the greatest story of our decade. I say we go in.
So you're saying you want to write it before I take whatever's inside?
I'll write about the remnants and what I learned from them. But you can take whatever you'd like for yourself, honey.
Oh, Gloria.
Right.
We are going to have phenomenal careers together. And
So, this sounds awesome. We got to keep moving.
yeah.
You're heading inside, it sounds like. What are you doing with the unconscious werewolf hunter that you've been dragging through the swampland?
Can we leave him in the
And
lobby?
Elena.
Can we put him in a tree?
Just drape him gently.
I look
Snakes can
around
climb
because I'm
trees.
assuming that at this point we know what a restroom is. I'm gonna look for a restroom to lock in.
Okay, so you step inside, and I was about to describe the lobby area. There is indeed a bathroom, because I make sure to add latrines to all of my maps.
I know that, Adrian.
Greatly
You-
appreciated.
Of course. You never know. As you make your way into the swamped lobby area, you do find that there is a broken sort of unisex bathroom, with the door long having rotted and fallen off.
Not very private.
Nope. But you do see that there is an old swampy toilet, very composting, and you see that there is what looks to be a couple of chairs and a sort of exhibit area. And as you kind of come in here, you see kind of like a broken, shattered globe that's broken and landed in the middle of the floor. You see that it's like a big domed space that leads deeper inside, but there are like chairs and stuff.
So do we think it's
And-
fine if we just bar the doors and set him next to one of the chairs for now?
I mean, to be honest, we've done everything in our power to keep this man alive. If he dies by some random happenstance at this point, we would be guilt-free.
Okay, let's bar the doors at least.
And let's not leave him on the toilet, because if he dies there, that's going to be real embarrassing to his spirit.
So I suppose we leave him in the lobby before going deeper?
Wait, so there is a bathroom?
Well, not with
There's a
door.
bathroom.
Okay.
But if you want to, you could wheel him in there, and I don't know, just kind of shove some chairs and stuff in front
All
of
the
it.
times not to take arcane lock.
Well, there's nothing to lock.
So we'll...
Well, but you just need a door to cast arcane lock. You don't actually need a lock.
So
Oh.
we'll...
There's no door.
So we'll secure him somewhere out here.
Okay, so you just sit him in a chair. Do you put him in the bathroom and just kind of bar that with like furniture?
Yeah.
Sure. So you go ahead, you fashion that individual in there, and you see that as it's gone dark, there's like a little reading light on the chair, so you can kind of illuminate him a little bit. And yeah, he's just kind of gets shunted in there next to the toilet. And you just Gross just grabs a big sort of 3-sit chair and just kind of leans against it, all eaten through, probably a family of raccoons or possums maybe. Probably lived in there at some point. Generational housing. And yeah, Elena says, if you're going to go deeper, I should probably stay with him. Be better if Luis comes back.
Yeah, darling. You just stay near the back and keep out of trouble. Don't worry, Gloria will take care of you.
I really didn't want to say much, but it is kind of confusing. And I'm not really used to it.
I apologize, darling, but this is the only way I can be sure that if Luis does show up, she doesn't just remove our heads.
I understand. Just when you're talking to me, just sound like you, if you could.
I have to get the accent right, darling.
She'll shake her head and just keep going. And yeah, she makes her way in. Korik, you see that there is what appears to be a little switch on the wall nearby.
Oh.
You just see that.
1, 2, 3, flip.
So you
Let
just
there
top
be
up and you
light.
flip it, and then there's a some aether magic lighting implements do explode a little bit as they are no longer set up to run the same aether routes as before the eclipsing, but some of them do come on. And as all of you look inside, there's like this dim light that begins to emanate until you see standing right behind you a flickering. Hello. Welcome to Irvine's Museum of Natural History. I will be your host for this evening.
I don't like this. Just
If you're ready for your complimentary audio tour, I will be your guide. Irvine Jr.
Is there some obvious artifice that is making him function?
You would probably be able to see that there's like little projectors in the ceiling that are conjuring this illusion.
I'm going to Eldritch Blast those.
no. No,
You
no, no,
continue
no,
doing it?
no.
I mean, I don't want to see this poor artificial creature enslaved in this way.
It's simply a recording.
I do not understand.
Do not be afraid. I feel no pain.
Simply a recording. It's simply a film meant to guide us and provide extra information.
Gloria, if it's simply a recording, how is it responding to what we're saying?
Irvine, are you...
I have many dialogue options.
Irvine, are
I am
you...
quite an advanced piece of machinery
don't-
created by some of the greatest aether engineers and wizards. I feel no pain.
Irvine,
How do you explain this?
I do not approve.
Are you ready for your complimentary audio tour? Please grab one of the nearby segways.
And also, it's
Gestures
offering
towards
it
a broken rack of segways.
if it were
me.
completely sentient, then it must be enjoying the fact that it may fulfill its duty once again after so long.
You see
Wouldn't
that
you
it's
at least
looking-
give it the final chance?
As you see as it's standing there, it's looking at it's gesturing towards the broken segways, and then it just glitches, and then just turns 180 degrees in like a fraction of a blink, and is now on an illusory segway, and it's wheeling away deeper into the museum.
Okay, follow the construct, please. Let's go.
Yeah.
I feel no
Follow the
pain.
hologram. Ah.
I believe the proper term is slave, and I'll just keep walking with the rest.
I will say that even if you had destroyed the projector above, it would have just tracked into the next projector that's in the hallway.
That's why I was asking if it looked like there was something that he was being created by, like not necessarily the projectors, but wherever his core
Not
is.
where you can see,
Yeah.
but as you are led deeper into the space, and the sound of sloshing footprints go away, and you see the flickering lights around you. You see some exhibits that you pass. Some of them talk about times before when the world was covered perhaps in ice or volcanic activity. Ending of the worlds that have existed before, but somehow something has always come after. You come to like one exhibit with broken glass, with like a couple of furniture kind of scattered around there, but some of it is broken. And you read the tag below, and it says mimics in their natural habitat.
I'm just writing everything down like very feverishly.
And it looks like something broke out of here long ago.
Oh,
Don't touch anything.
we should be aware of mimics. So
And
no.
and by the way, this just looks like a suburban home. But some stuff is obviously missing, like the armchair and like a foot chest.
Watch out for an armchair and a foot chest. Follow him as closely as possible at this point.
In the 1950s of Electrival, they didn't have the Red Scare; they had the Great Mimic Medicine.
Mighty Mimic Menagerie.
Yep. As you continue to make your way through these exhibits, you see the figure says, and if you continue on ahead, you can see a recreation of our it flickers out.
Ah.
Okay.
I feel no pain. Hi. Welcome. Please grab a nearby Segway. It gestures towards the mimic case.
All right, let's keep going.
On ahead.
Existence is pain. Come along with me.
Why do you need to specify that you don't feel pain? Is this a common concern during your typical time of operation?
I have many dialogue options.
Why is this one of them?
You're muted,
Hi
buddy.
there. Allow me to be... I am Irvine Jr.
Irvine Jr., where's your central core processing unit?
My central core processing. Hi, I'm Irvine Jr.
I think
Let me be your guide. Grab a Segway.
we need to
destroy
continue on.
I feel no
without
pain.
our
Let's
guide.
keep going.
Please.
It would appear that I am no longer able to follow you into the next exhibit hall. It appears to be a malfunction with my projecting unit within there.
Goodbye, good sir.
Irvine, are there other people
Farewell.
in this facility?
Existence is pain. It disappears. Groth?
I questioned for while he was there.
Oh, what did you ask him?
If there were other people here.
It's like, indeed. One of our staff will be with you shortly. Disappears.
Staff.
Let's go into that room very cautiously.
I have my weapon out. First off, just for the record.
I
You pull out
have
the
my
blade.
mage armor up.
And I have my hands free.
I'll summon
Jazz
you.
hands.
This? Sus.
Summon my hammer.
Thematic components for bards and Electrival is just jazz hands. As you make your way down the hall,
And all that
you
jazz.
see that there is a chamber in there that seems to be flickering with different colored lights, like kind of greens and reds, and you hear like the sound of a kind of played on a very obvious staticky speaker.
Can we see the speaker?
Well, you'd have to step into the next chamber, which is about 30 feet ahead of you in the hall.
Can't tell if this is intended to be festive or absolutely terrifying.
Well,
Agreed.
as you've walked in here, the water on the floor is only about an inch or two now.
I think we
And
need
as
to
you
continue.
see, there's like a bunch of like ferns and vines and stuff. Obviously, some sort of plastic or something like that, designed to give a very jungle-looking feel to this room. As you step into the prehistoric section.
So, just for you, I'm going to use disguise self to turn my hammer into a stick, and then I'm going to walk in as Elena and go, Luis, are you in here?
I will say you can unsummon it, but disguise self is just for you and your person. Objects you carry on you aren't affected by it.
It does specifically say that weapons, I can change them into other forms.
Then I'll be damned. Go ahead and do your thing.
I was looking at it earlier. I was like, oh, I didn't know that I could do that.
No, I didn't know it either, apparently.
Yeah, so
My bad.
clothing,
I feel
armor,
dumb for saying,
weapons, and
you
other
learned something new.
belongings on your person look different until the spell ends.
But yeah, you come into this sort of blinking space. Rising in the middle of the room, you see like a large kind of... Two of you can roll intelligence or nature checks.
I can try it. I got a +2.
I have a +4, so I can try it.
Go ahead and roll.
Do.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
All right, that's a 15.
You would... Dilby?
16.
You both would recognize from what documentation has survived of old prehistoric texts that this is the skeleton of a creature known as a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Aw, dang it, I wish I had polymorph.
And as you make your way in here, you see that there are many other exhibits of creatures that have long ago died. And there is one figure, just kind of sitting at the base of the T-Rex statue, rocking, a smile kind of being appeared on the crone's face.
Are you that evil hag who cursed my Louise?
It has been a while I've been expecting you. Welcome.
Does she see the rest of us, or are we hidden?
You don't know.
You release her from her curse now, or I'm gonna have to get rough with you. And I'm slowly inching towards her, but in that like I'm a scared middle-aged woman kind of way.
Yep, and as you make your way forward, she says, well, I can assure you that I made no deal with her. Whatever's been done, been done. And exactly as was promised, is delivered.
Well,
And she's just kind of sitting there, just smiling with the hood over her eyes. You start seeing that her skin is all cracked, kind of scaly and purple. She doesn't look like a normal person. And you're maybe about 30 feet away from her at the moment. It's a very wide chamber.
You know those tiny bottles where they have like single servings of alcohol?
Yeah.
I keep my potion of mind reading in one of those, and I just unscrew it and I take the shot.
All right. You are currently You are currently under the effects of the detect thought spell.
Yep. And I'm just reading her a bit, trying to gain insight about what she's talking about.
All right. Well, what's the range on it?
The range on it. How far is it? Oh yeah, you have that spell. 30?
I have to look at it.
Feet.
You would
It's
have
30
to
feet.
step. You would have to step as close as Dilby is right now.
Mentally, just stay in the bushes. Gloria.
So you want to sneak? Quark, go ahead and roll stealth check. As you kind of, if you want to step within the chamber but kind of tuck behind some of the fake foliage.
Oh, I do, but I was also just saying that to Gloria. Like, just you can get
Oh.
closer and stay in the bushes.
Have
Yeah,
you
I'll
have you
try,
re-upped
yeah.
your psychic thing?
Yeah. Oh, I can re-up that right now. Sorry. I guess it has been quite a while.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to sneak with my really not decent sneak.
All right, both stealth checks, both of you.
22. Because my stealth is a plus 11.
I'm gonna use my inspiration. Dirty 20. First one was an 8.
All right. So you begin approaching. I'll say that Dilby's slowly walking forward about 20 feet from her. What's Groth doing?
Grath is just watching.
So are you stepping just within the door frame and just standing back visibly, or?
Yeah.
All right, so you're just kind of standing back, weapon at the ready. Dilby is just kind of approaching, holding the stick, ready to whack a bitch if he's gotta. The two of you are kind of sneaking as well as you can. Are you next to each other, or did you kind of fork off?
I'll stay next to Gloria, yeah.
Yeah, I'm mostly going in to use detect thoughts and try to get some insight into what she's talking about or her sincerity.
Well, as you go ahead and you kind of direct the sort of, you're just reading her passive stuff?
Yes, at the moment.
You don't really get any read off of her. Almost as if she isn't there or her mind is blocking the communication somehow.
I kind of
But just nothing.
I give our little friend a look and I ask him in his head, do I go further? I can't read anything on the surface.
Right now, it seems like our options are go further or immediately attack, so you might as well get as much information as we can.
I would like to dig.
You use your action to dig, and no roll is necessary because you still can't pierce her thoughts.
It's not
Dilby.
working.
Dilby, you're about 15 feet from her.
All
What do
right,
you do?
at 15 feet, I would like to surge forward and swing my stick hammer.
All right. As you go ahead and you swing out, she looks at you and says, I was hoping we could talk nicely, but I guess not. As you swing and the hammer, as it breaks from the illusion and appears, slices through her form, unaffected, as above a flickering projector flickers out. And you just hear a mad cackle throughout the room.
Oh boy.
And then I will say, as you are reeling from that, you hear a lurching from the center of the room as a red glow begins to form within the skull of the T-Rex skeleton. And it begins to break its scaffolding, and I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh boy. Oh, dislike. Okay.
This is why we use hammers.
This is why we hit our problems. All right, that's a 16.
Construct 9.
21.
Korich.
26!
I didn't know you could go that high, but congrats.
Oh, sorry, no, 24. Sorry, it's 19 plus 5, 24. Not 26, not 26.
Okay. Roth. Still congrats.
27. No, I'm sorry. 17, not 27.
And
Like, I'm a
Roth
one up.
coming into the lead. Outperforming Koroth's 26.
Adrian, when you guys roll initiative, you roll D30s, right?
The beasts of speed.
No, actually, I prefer my initiative dice to be prime numbered.
Oh.
I don't like that. Dislike.
Roll a D7.
So, as you are standing within the space and you see the shrouds of the metal scaffolding fly off of this T-Rex skeleton, as an orange light begins to glow within its skull, it lets out a sound out of its maw being projected.
That sound is going to be in my nightmares, man.
Mm-hmm. I hope that picked up well. Korich,
did,
you're first to
unfortunately.
react as you are hiding in the bushes and you're like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap.
Yeah.
And Dilby just kind of turns his head up. Or 9, as he is actually called.
Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna psychic blades it. I don't know what else to do because the caster has disappeared, and that was a oh shoot. Does an 11 hit?
And 11 will not hit. You are just too
Alright.
startled at the moment as this thing begins to lurch and bend. And technically, all of you are surprised, technically, because her plan went off. So technically, none of you have a reaction until your turn goes. Cork, that is your action.
That is, I believe that is going to be my bonus action as well because I can't use my other attack unless I use the first one.
Right. Oh, you used it. You can always just.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I will. I'll offhand then.
But you are revealed in case you wanted to hide again.
You know what?
By the way, I just want to say that when you made the joke of dying on the toilet, I was just like, could I work that out?
I'm gonna go ahead and use that bonus action to hide.
All right,
That's a good
sounds
idea.
good. So
Cunning action.
You send out this. What do the psychic needles look like?
So it's like purple and blue, kind of glowing, translucent. So pieces of it become invisible at different times as other pieces are visible. So as it rotates through the air and hits something way above the T-Rex, I'm gonna use the distraction of it having moved to duck behind another bush.
Go ahead and re-roll that stealth check.
Okay.
For it is now Construct 9's turn, as you are below this thing, and
That's a 16.
it would appear that you had just tried to strike an illusion.
Okay. I mean, do I get my full suite of actions or no?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay.
It's just that until you go, none of you had a reaction, so Korik wouldn't have technically gotten sneak attack there because you were still getting a chance to reel yourself.
Is it within striking distance? Because she was.
Yes, it is. Like you're right there. You have to move like 10 feet forward.
Okay, so I'm going to maul/booming blade it. That's a 26 to hit.
All right, 26 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. Come on, roll 20. Stop. Go away. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to give it to you in stages because there's a lot of different things I have to roll. So that's going to be 8 for the base damage, and that's bludgeoning.
Okay.
And then it's going to be an additional 8 thunder damage.
Okay.
And now it has booming, so if it moves on its next turn, it would take extra damage. Then I'm going to quicken spell, cast Shocking Grasp.
Sure.
For a 15?
15 just barely hits.
Okay. And that will be another 8 lightning damage, and it can no longer take reactions on its turn, and then I will move 20 feet away from it.
Okay. You go ahead and you run up and you just strike at it and then grab a hold of it, release the shock as it goes reeling back momentarily. Its whole body just arching up. Groth.
How far away am I?
Running into the room from the center thing, you're probably going to have to go to engage with it. I'll say that if you use all your movement, you can get there.
Okay, because also with the glaive I have, that's got 10 feet reach.
Yeah.
And then
all right.
as bugbear, I have an extra 5 feet of reach.
Then I will say definitely because you can definitely get there.
Okay. I'm going to attack twice. Yeah.
So you just backed up straight, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Well, I mean, it could be at an angle. I just moved 20 feet away.
Yeah, you just moved 20 feet from where it was. All right.
In hopes that it will pursue someone.
Okay.
First attack is a. Oh Lord.
Did you go ahead and pull out your Oni glaive?
18 to hit.
18 will hit.
Okay. Come on.
Gloria's on deck.
Yep, I know what I'm doing.
15 for the first hit. Second hit. It's a 12 doesn't hit, I assume.
Nope. So how much damage was it from the first attack?
15 total.
15 total slashing damage. Got it. As you go ahead, you strike against it. You manage to kind of reach up and rattle a bunch of the ribs on it.
Sorry, it would be 16 since it's a +1.
All right, 16. One more point of damage. All right. That it?
Yep.
Gloria, it is your go.
All right. So I would like to use all 7 charges on my Wand of Magic Missile, but can I describe how I do it?
Go ahead.
So basically, I flip over to like the back page of my journal, just far away from everything else that I've written in. And I take the pen I've been using and just almost like take the tip and squash it down so all the ink just splatters all over the page. And then from the ink on the page, there's 7 bullets that come out.
Like little triangles, yeah.
Yeah.
And you go ahead and you send out a bunch of asteroid spaceships towards this T-Rex.
I send little ink bullets.
Pew, 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 pew. As they flash out, they're like little black and they start to glow the same sort of orange energy as Gloria's hair. Go ahead and roll the damage. That
All right.
6 extra, that's upcasted 6 times, so that's
7. 9?
So,
Ooh.
because it's 3 base and then you added 6 more.
Ooh, nice. I like that.
So you might want to just roll it on D&D Beyond.
That's what I'm doing, and my computer's lagging from trying to do so. All right, so that's 22 plus 9, which
So
is 31.
All right.
31 force damage.
And I need you to roll me a D20.
Yep. That's a 19. It doesn't actually explode. The pen just reforms itself. It's just out of ink.
It's just out of ink. All right. Yeah. Well, as all of you are beginning to lash out at it, yeah, I am going to need Groth to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
okay. Should anything that helps me with this? Nope. Don't think it-
Come on, my man. Be wise. Be wisdomed.
16?
You feel as though there's some sort of presence pressing onto your mind, and as you try to force it out, you find yourself just standing there, like another statue in the museum. Your wit's still about you, but you're unable to move or speak.
I only ask for my inventory reasons. Is there a particular condition that he is under?
He's paralyzed.
Okay.
And I imagine Groth can like communicate in his mind like
I was gonna say, do we still have the psychic thing out?
that would not be affected. Your mind is unaffected.
Cool.
But having been blasted by this, it is going to go ahead and take the 1d8 thunder damage
It's
as it takes a
2d8.
step. 2d. Is it 2d8 or
Yeah,
is it
because
an
I'm level 5, so it's an extra 2d8 damage.
Hold on 1 second. Yep. Go ahead and roll the damage.
12.
All right. As it lets out this thunderous boom as it roars in tandem, you see that the heat inside of its head brightens, and it releases it in the direction of Gloria and Dilby and Korik, because you are still hiding there, as it releases a cone of flame from its mouth.
Okay, I'm resistant to this. That's okay.
I am not.
As it is a fire-breathing T-Rex skeleton. And yes, this is
Adrian.
homebrew.
Adrian, may I politely ask, was this creature entirely self-indulgent?
Well, there's a chance we'd never get to it. What are the dex saves?
Dex saves. Okay.
All right, we're
then-
doing those. Let me roll that. That's a 5.
I have a 25 because I used my inspiration. that I had
Evasion,
from
you'll be
the
fine.
Last one.
Yep. Dilby. Oh, no, you're... Dobie, you were there. What did you roll?
11.
11. And Gloria, you rolled a what again?
5. It's okay.
So
I'm
you two are taking
resistant.
full damage. Korik is taking no damage.
Wait, I'm resistant. I'm not taking full damage.
You're taking half damage. So
Yes. Aha. My wizard self doesn't die today.
Of all the times not to take
2
absorb
more
elements.
d10s.
Thanks, +5 dex.
20.
Oh, it's a +8 for a dex save. That was a 28.
So, Dilby is going to take 25 points of fire damage. Gloria is going to take 12 points of fire damage. Korik, you take none as you manage to see it in time. However, all the foliage you were hidden under just turns into melted plastic.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so much for hiding.
I'd say that you leap behind like the shelf that all the fake foliage is growing out of, or like the planter, but you probably won't be able to hide here next turn. As you just see this T-Rex let out a torrent of flame in your direction.
Okay.
All right, Korik.
I am going to go ahead and try that psychic blade attack again and hope it hits this time.
All right, go ahead, roll to hit.
That is going to be a 19 to hit.
That is going to hit.
And do I have anybody close enough by to use the sneak attack with that? Or everybody's going to back
No.
away? Okay.
Nope, because it moved away from the bugbear, and the bugbear was paralyzed.
Okay, so that's going to be 6 damage for the first. And then with my offhand attack, that is a 25 to hit. And for 6 damage again.
6 points of damage. All right. Sorry, repeat that damage again.
So first one was, I believe first one was 6 points of damage, and second one was also 6 points of damage, so 12 total. I rolled a 1 twice.
All right. 6 points of damage. As you lash out of it, you see that the fire inside kind of flickers when you throw the blades up. You see it's already starting to kind of crack where the bones are. All right. Construct 9.
Okay. I'm going to run up to our buddy. I'm going to quicken spell Lesser Restoration with a touch.
You are no longer held.
And then I will turn towards the big boy and I will give it a couple of spicy Eldritch Blasts.
All right. Go ahead. Roll your Eldritch Blasts.
23
Hits.
and 19.
Go ahead and roll 2d10 damage. Unless you got the invocation.
I don't. So that's only 7 for both. So 5 and 2.
Every little bit counts as you go ahead. You blast through. Several of its ribs have broken off. Groth, it is your go.
I'm gonna nod to what's his name?
Dilby.
So is Dilby? So no one is next to the creature, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I
No
was
one.
next to you, so.
I'm gonna. Oh, good God! I'm gonna run up and get right up next to it.
Yep, you can do that. What do you do?
I'm gonna attack. So we're going to double attack. First one is 21.
Hits?
Second one is dirty 20.
Hits?
Okay. So that is 21, and then spend my bonus action to do fainting attack. So,
All right.
so spend a superiority dice on next attack. I'll have advantage, and I get to roll extra.
All right.
Okay, so that's my turn right now.
All right. Gloria,
Oh,
as you see
All
that
right.
this thing has taken heavy damage.
All right. Is it possible for me to fireball it without getting any of my friends in the ball?
Dilby, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say on my turn, I'm used to having a map. I would have moved to not be directly in fire breath range of everyone else, like separating.
You had to run to Groth, and Groth was off to the side anyway.
Yeah.
So I assume that happened.
Okay, cool.
All right. Can I do it so that it's like at the edge of a fireball, so like
You can
none of my
blast it
buddies
into
will
the
get
ceiling
hurt?
if you want. This thing's taller than you.
Yeah, I'll do that. I just don't want to hit any of my party members.
Nope, don't worry.
Anyway.
Dex save.
Yep. Fun fact: this is my first time ever casting fireball in D&D.
And
The momentous occasion.
your first time casting Fireball, the fire-breathing T-Rex skeleton rolls a natural 20.
Fuck.
What?
All right, that's okay. It still takes something.
All right.
I rolled exactly average damage, so it only takes 15.
Halved to 7.
No. I already halved it for you.
But it has fire resistance.
Crap. I spent a third
Fire
level
resistance is a
spell.
double-edged sword.
You are a jerk, sir. You are a jerk.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for thinking that a fire-breathing T-Rex skeleton would have trouble getting caught on fire.
It's
so
just
sorry.
a little
Not unreasonable.
toasty.
He's not wrong.
It's
sorry,
toasty like marshmallow.
I would now require... That's complicated, but Groth already had something done. Wouldn't know. I guess not. Yeah. I'm going to ask Construct 9 to roll me a Charisma saving throw. I'm pretty sure you're good at those.
You can do it, bro.
But I think
19.
this is what would happen. You kind of feel like some sort of presence trying to push you out of wherever you are, but you manage to resist.
Don't get possessed.
You look around and you're not entirely sure where that's coming from, though it is now the T-Rex's turn. Looking very damaged and battered. It is going to look down at... It is acting a little feral. It is going to begin by chomping... Actually, got to make sure I look at its attacks. First thing I got to do... 3. Its fire breath doesn't come back. It is going to make a tail attack against the... Sorry, I'm just trying to remember which one of you are. It's going to begin by making a tail attack against Construct 9 and then bite attack against Groth.
Okay.
As it kind of steps over, as it goes ahead and steps over, it swings its tail wide around to whack against you. So I'll go ahead and roll that one first. 19 to hit.
19 will hit me.
And then against you. 17 to hit.
Nope.
Groth.
Nope.
You go ahead and you just kind of stick the glaive up into its maw and hold it there. But Dilby, you do get... I'm sorry, you're the one getting all the punishment here.
It's fine.
Okay, so as my reaction, I'm gonna do a riposte since
Yeah.
it missed me.
Absolutely. 24 points of bludgeoning damage. By the way.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Go ahead and make your riposte.
Okay. And then I also have advantage on this from the fencing attack and gets to add a superiority dice to the damage.
Yep.
25 to hit.
25 hits. Roll damage.
Yes, that's 7 plus 24?
24 damage?
Yeah.
How would you like to do this?
Nice.
Yeah.
Slice that freaking head
It
off.
had 11 hit points left.
Slice that freaking head off. Bring the
Yeah,
glaive
so-
up and just...
So it's like as its fire is beginning to billow and you like block it by just jamming its the glaive into its mouth and it's keeping it wide open. You go ahead, you swing your way in with your long NBA bugbear arms as you fly within, and then there's a shing, like in an anime, as the head's just there and you're jumping out of the bottom of the skull where the esophagus might once have been, and just severing the spine, right where the head is attached, is just a small cut. As the head just shatters to the ground and this billow of flame and smoke shoots up. As all of you cover your eyes as the head glows red hot and explodes in its death throes. I need everyone in this chamber to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Ah.
I get to use the d12.
That's 7.
24.
You take no damage.
12.
What was it?
12 for me.
Adrian, you seem so happy to roll those damage die.
3, 33, and then... All right. So, Dilby, you rolled a...
12.
Sorry, Construct 9. 12. 41 points of fire damage. Scroth.
15.
41 points of fire damage. Gloria.
7.
20 points of fire damage. Korok.
Aha!
24.
0 points of fire damage.
Fun fact, I had 41 hit points left exactly.
Is anyone down?
No.
So Dilby, after getting bludgeoned with that whack, and the head falls to the ground, and as it shatters, it bursts into a bright explosion that completely torches the entire interior in here. Any water on the floor instantly evaporates into steam, and all of you have to shield your eyes or tuck behind. Korok, you dive into a nearby trash receptacle. Or no, it's even more. It's like you see, like, go to like that one of those same sort of exhibits showing like a suburban home, and there's just a lead-lined refrigerator, and you just, like Indiana Jones, dive inside. Always wanted to do that with the rogue. And yeah,
100%.
the entire room is on fire. The smell of burnt plastic fills all of it, and Dilby is on the ground. And you just hear a laughing.
Oh, she's still. Oh my god.
You are amusing, but my time here is done. And so is yours.
Shit. Y'all ready to
The
run?
lights just go out. And don't come back on. You see that Dilby, or not Dilby,
My disguised self would be gone, yeah.
is lying there, their face kind of scorched at the edges of it, some of the components melted, but what do you do?
We're out of combat.
I don't know much about mechanics. Oh gosh. Does anyone have healing?
I'm gonna rush over to Dilby and dump the potion of greater healing down his throat.
Go ahead and roll that healing. I was going to ask Dilby to first roll me 2 death saves, though.
Okay.
Don't roll a natural one.
I'm trying to figure out how to do that on here. Do I just roll a d20?
Just roll a d20.
12 and
You'll make it.
18.
Ah.
Fortunately, your own system manages to go into a hibernation mode.
And that's 17 healing from the potion.
And it's not so... And as this sort of purified vitality is put within you, your system kind of begins to convert it into aether. The same aether lined within it until, Dilby, your eyes kind of blink on. And you are surrounded by everyone in the darkness other than the light of the sort of smoldering displays around you.
I immediately turn into Dilby as if somebody just saw my penis.
But how are you looking?
I'm saving that quote forever. I immediately turn into Dilby as if someone just saw my penis.
How are you
I'm at
looking?
17 of 58, so.
Also,
Okay.
I just realized, does my hair give off any light? I'm literally on fire.
Yeah, it'd be a very dim light, though. Maybe like 5 feet out.
Yeah, I'll use a produce flame to create some more light for us.
All right, so you guys got a little bit of a torchlight in here right now.
Grout's gonna go up, pull something out of his pack, and like look at Dilby, and be like, "Is this okay?" And like pulls like a salve out, and like goes to touch him.
I have potions of healing. It's fine.
All right, then I want to do it on myself then.
All right, so you begin rubbing yourself down.
I really don't know what we can do right now, but at least
Who
we have
else?
some kind of story. I don't know. Maybe we can send back
else?
somebody more capable to deal with this.
Eventually, you hear the sounds of footsteps and a wheelchair being pushed down the hall, and you see, "Is everything okay? I heard something, and I was afraid of the worst. What happened in here?"
Everyone's okay. Unfortunately, that includes the hag.
And suddenly you start hearing the sounds of a grunting, and then a choo sneezing. Out of the chair is a figure that adjusts their eyes and looks around at you, pulls the IV out of their arm. What is going on here? What? Who are you people? Where am I?
We saved your life.
What's that awful smell?
You can
It's Irving's Natural History Museum.
also the smell of burnt plastic.
What? The beast? What happened to the beast I was hunting? I haven't introduced myself. My name is Rochester Romero. And he kind of like kind of shushes away and begins kind of adjusting his chair. What's going on here? Why did you bring me to Arvines or whatever?
The beast you are hunting is dead. We found you in the swamp.
It's funny you say that, as he's about to question it when you hear another set of footsteps running down the hallway. And just as quickly, you see Elena run off to meet the figure emerging from there, lit by the faint bits of burning museum exhibit from the death throes of the fire-breathing T-Rex. You see hugging, kind of shifting down into a diminutive form as she steps into the light. Luis hugging Elena.
I suggest we make our way out the back and let those two lovely women enjoy their time in peace. How about it, boys?
Now that the creature is definitely dead, and I am definitely human.
Yes.
Do you have you got my belongings? You wouldn't be happy to head back towards Electrival anytime soon.
Oh, that's exactly where we're headed.
Unfortunately, all your belongings, I think, are back in Herbertsville.
Now
Oh,
we
did you
can
guys
sneak
not bring
back
him
and
with
get
you?
them.
Did you not bring
Well,
him back?
Tensor's floating disc. Woo,
Okay.
cubicle.
I will
Cubicle.
say, if that's the case, you would see her that Luis would say, "Thank you." Again. And a deal is a deal. Come on, Elena, let's go. We won't find much resistance back in the village. I made sure of that. And she'll run off. And you see that she turns into a giant wolf in the process of carrying. Mind you, Elena, or Luis, is a smaller stature than Elena. So she kind of like picks up her wife and then turns into a wolf in the process and begins running out the front of the museum.
And we
I
make sure
hex-
that
I-
make sure our hunter friend does not see this.
Yeah, I hex him wisdom so he can't be good at perception.
I'll roll it just because. Yeah,
With
nope, that was a
advantage.
natural 19 and 2. He does not see that. He's like trying to like brush the smoke out of his eyes.
Mr.
That's
Romero,
the
let's...
best use of hex I've ever used in my life.
Yes.
Cork.
Mr. Romero, let's get back your equipment and discuss our fees for rescuing you.
Absolutely. Have you seen my firearm?
Oh, and I'll reach into my pocket, keeping it safe for you, sir, and hand it back to him.
All right. You did.
I
You took no
I
damage.
briefly messaged him. You really could have said you never seen it. Seriously, dude, and I thought you were a thief.
Yeah, but think of how many firearms we could buy with all that platinum.
Well, with that, we enter the epilogue stage. I would like to ask now, what would you like to do as we kind of come to the sunset of this little game? As it's really more of a sunrise by the time you would get back to any semblance of civilization.
Well, I'd like to write an amazing story about a backwards little town that got absolutely decimated by the beast, and how we saved and how we were able to drive it away to never come near Electrival again. But it's okay. What was lost deserved to be lost. For Electrival is amazing in all its light, its glory. It reaches into the future.
That story is read on the front page of every tab media product in Electrival, and is the biggest hit for the 24 hours it is published. Signed by Gloria Parcher as lead journalist in the headlines of Crazy Wolf Girl Decimates Village, Future Uncertain. 4. When you do return to the village, you find that Herbertstown has undergone an attack. Headwaters, the minister there, was slain gloriously in combat, but has been given a saintly funeral alongside many of the others who had died. His son ended up taking up the honor of holding the crook and continuing to lead the congregation towards better light. Of course, it is not until later that day do they begin to notice a blight having freshly formed in the crops of the village. In the knoll of the grass, the green, a slightly browner shade than it was the day before.
That's spooky.
It's not but a month later that the residents of Herbertsville begin to vacate the settlement, making their way back to Electrival, finding that the blood spilled on their land, it seems no longer willing to provide them the fruit for them to live on. Dilby, perhaps on some other escapade out in the area, you and Gloria find a clue towards the past and a way to perhaps free your people. A fragment of the same pentadrone that makes up the shaft of your hammer. Groth. A mix of memories come to you. You are let off of your bail. Your debt has been finished, and you can remove the leather and the Aethertech wristband that is attached to you and go back onto your life. Cork, with many new individuals coming to Electrival, many of them are ready to take part in the indulgences, and perhaps while you maybe didn't form a new criminal network, you've got many young recruits that you can begin educating on the way the world works. And you surprisingly find that the oldest secret of Electrival, the same one that the patron, the paragon Vanek, speaks to you in your mind, is simply the moral that was realized. The land itself was never pure, and neither were the people. It was always an illusion to sate the understanding, the moral understanding and belief of one woman who moves back onto that same blighted knoll, satisfied in knowing that people truly are corruptible, and that there is really no good virtue beyond the illusions we craft. And may that not be the moral that we were hoping of that story. It is the one that Abuela Verdad, or Mother Truth, is satisfied with. Of course, saints and sinners continue to live and die in Electrival, as do ordinary people. And the mysteries of the future are uncertain and ready to be discovered for when it is time. And I would like to thank everyone this evening for taking part in this exciting adventure. I hope everyone had fun. And that is me.
Thanks so much for hosting.
Yes, thank you so much. If you are a patron of the Mighty Misfit Menagerie, we will be doing an after party of this episode where we will get to the bottoms of all the things we didn't do. So look for that on our Patreon. If you're not a patron of ours and you would like to see that, you can become a Patreon for as little as $1 to see all of those. So just keep that in mind.
Absolutely. And
Go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, like, this stuff is going to be coming up in the next week. Dice Carnival will be publishing an audio-only version with some music accompaniment. So if you ever want to get a listen of that, and I believe that Mighty Misfits are going to be publishing it as well. Coulter?
Yes, correct. So we're going to be publishing this in 2 parts, a part 1 and a part 2, and those will be a week apart. But if you want to hear the whole thing at one time, you can head over to Dice Carnival's podcast, so you can listen to those on anywhere that podcasts are found. As far as I know, I saw you guys on Apple Podcast and Spotify, and I mean, those are the big 2. But
Yeah.
But please, right next to our faces right now, I believe on this side, if I'm pointing correctly, is both Dice Carnival's website and our website. So for more information, please check either of those out. And thank you all so much for coming tonight. We hope you guys have a great night, and we hope you guys had a great time enjoying this adventure, because I know that we all did. So with that... go ahead.
And of course, no matter where you are, keep up the great work. You're doing a great job, and we know it.
And we will come up with the tagline eventually.
Eventually.
Yes.
Oh, I've got a name of the episode if you want to hear it. But
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
it's called High Moon Over the Bayou.
Ooh, I like that.